Hi, welcome to a new episode of Explore Baltimore. In this episode, I'm going to tell you about something called Doors Open Baltimore, hashtag DOB 2017. What that is, it's a one weekend a year event where different museums, retail spaces, private property, government buildings, things like that, they'll open their doors to areas of the building that's not usually open. It's a really cool event. It's probably the most Explore Baltimore type of event that happens in Baltimore, so that's kind of why I wanted to tell you about it. I don't know how many people on average know about it, so I think it's definitely something worth promoting. The first step I would do would be go to the website, which is doorsopenbaltimore.org, and that's going to have the list of all the sites and information. In the past, it's only been a Saturday and it was just self-guided tours, but this year they kind of did it differently where Saturday is the self-guided tours and then Sunday there's special reserve tours that are guided, so you have to kind of get tickets to it or whatever. It's free, but you have to sign up just because space is limited. So first step would be, go to the website, and that's going to have all the information, and I'm just going to kind of read it off and give my own kind of tips. This is about the 4th or 5th year they've been doing it, and I've been going since the very beginning. First step we're going to do is go to the doorsopenbaltimore.org website, and I'm just going to read you the About Doors Open page that they have on there. It says, Doors Open Baltimore is expanding to the full weekend. On October 28th to 29th, the Baltimore Architecture Foundation, in partnership with AIA Baltimore, will present the 4th annual Doors Open Baltimore. Learn about Charm City's fascinating history through its architecture and people who design and preserve it. Saturday, October 28th will be the open house day when over 50 buildings across Baltimore will open their doors for exploration. Most of the special events, such as walking tours that require free registration, will occur on Sunday, October 29th. Doors Open Baltimore is a self-guided event, and sites can be enjoyed by foot, bicycle, public transportation, or car. Sites are organized into neighborhood clusters to minimize the amount of time you have to spend in transit. Participants are encouraged to take advantage of transit services such as the light rail, metro, Charm City Circulator, and the Baltimore Bike Share. Bike Share might not be working right now, though. Alright, that website is not working on my tablet at all, so I'm just using my phone. I'm going to go down the list of the different sites. Some of them are reoccurring. They've been there every year, and some of them are new. So I'm just going to talk to you about the ones that I know for a fact that I've been to. If I don't know anything about it, I'll just allow you to go to the website and you can look it up yourself. The first one is the Info Hub. It's the Maryland Historical Society and Enoch Pratt House. That's kind of the main headquarters. I don't know if they're going to do this again, but last year they were giving out these little wooden hearts, and you would go to the different site and take a picture of yourself with the heart at the site, and then they would pick a winner at the end of the day. I don't know if they're doing that again, but that might be the main reason, because if you go to the Historical Society, they'll be able to give you the details. That's kind of where most of the volunteers will be. Besides that, you can get free admission to the museum if you want to go check it out. Just as a side note, I'm not discouraging anybody from visiting any of the sites, but my thinking of it is that this event goes from 10 till 4, so you only have 6 hours. So I would personally, that's just me, I would avoid any site that is normally open to the public. You know what I mean? So if there's a museum that's open 7 days a week, I'd rather go to the thing that's open 1 day a year than go to the museum that's open all the time. You know what I mean? So that's just my personal thing. I wouldn't discourage you from visiting any sites. Do as you please, but I just figured I would throw that tidbit out there. So the next site is the AIA Baltimore Chapter House, the ARABber Preservation Society, which I would consider to be the kind of sleeper hit of last year, if you could say that. It's kind of the site that was it was near where I was, and I was like, yeah, I'll go check that out. I wasn't really expecting much, but it's actually really awesome. It's 1102 North Fremont Street, or I'm sorry, Fremont Avenue. It's basically like an urban farm. There's horses. I think there was chickens and pigs and goats. There's all kinds of stuff, and it's pretty great. And they have a lot of really great murals and stuff there. So that's definitely was one of my favorite things. Next down the list is the Art Social Club, the Baltimore Center Stage, Baltimore City Hall, Baltimore Immigrant Museum, Baltimore Jewelry Center, Baltimore Museum of Industry. I really love the Museum of Industry. It's a great museum, one of my favorites. But it's another thing that's open 7 days a week normally, I think. So you can go there anytime. Normally it costs about $10 to go there. It would be free on this day. If you just went there and ran through it in 30 minutes, you could do that. But I would probably try to focus on the sites that are not normally open. The next one is the Baltimore Society of Model Engineers. That's like a model railroad. I know that is also open. Usually in the winter, they have like a big train garden thing. So you could also visit it in the Christmas time if you don't see it today. Brown Memorial Park Avenue Presbyterian Church. The Calkers House, which is two 200-year-old houses that are at 612 South Wolf Street in Fells Point. That seems kind of interesting. There is a guided there's a guided tour for that too that I think I'm going to go to on that Sunday. Not really sure what to expect. They're pretty bad shape, so I don't think they're going to let you inside, but I don't really know. Charm City Mead Works at the Old Postal Garage. Then Chase Brexton Healthcare. Chase Brexton is in a really cool Art Deco building. It's on 1111 North Charles Street. I know they've spent a couple years rehabbing it. I've peeked in it before, and it looks really cool. So I think you're going to see a lot of like kind of modern mixed with the original Art Deco. Next is the Clifton Mansion at 2701 St. Lo Drive. It's in Clifton Park. This is another one I kind of slept on and never really bothered with, but I saw some really great photos of it from last year. It seems like it's in a little bit of a state of like urban decay, and I'm pretty sure I heard that they're going to spend a lot of money soon to renovate the whole thing. So if you want to go in there and get pictures of it before, that seems like it'd be pretty cool. Another one that I slept on before was the Davidge Hall at University of Maryland, Baltimore, 522 West Lombard Street. It's a medical building, so it has a lot of like kind of morbid, creepy, educational medical things. It looks pretty cool. That's definitely one that I might check out. We have the Duchess of Windsor Museum at Adele Corner House, the U.B. Blake National Jazz and Cultural Center, First Continent, First Unitarian Church of Baltimore, Full Circle Fine Arts Services and Photography Gallery, the George Peabody Library. That's another thing that for like my entire life in Baltimore until last year I never went to, and it's, if you've seen pictures of it, it's really amazing. I mean, it is probably one of the coolest sites in Baltimore, but it's another one of the things that's open, regular hours all the time. So if you don't see it for Doors Open, you can always go check it out another time. We have Greenmount West Community Center, Gutierrez Studio, that's in Clipper Mill. It's like a glass blowing place, pretty cool, but then again, open regular hours. The Howard P. Rawlings Conservatory and Botanic Gardens of Baltimore. That's the really big glassed-in building in Druid Hill Park. Has a lot of different plants and stuff in it. It's really cool, really old building. If you like plants, that's a plus. I'm not super into plants, but I love architecture, so I do have an upcoming video about the Rawlings Conservatory. As soon as I get inside of it to film inside, I already have drone footage of the outside, so you'll be seeing that upcoming. Humanum at American Brewery is another really cool one. I went to that like 2 years ago, I think. The old American Brewery made American beer, and they just totally renovated the inside, but they really kind of left the history of it still there. So they have another thing where there was like a big tank in the floor, and they actually just put glass to fill in the hole, so you can look down and see like the ground below you. It's really cool. Irish Railroad Workers Museum, I went there a couple years ago. That was pretty cool, pretty surprising. It's really small, but then again, that's another thing that's open normal hours, other days. We have La Mondo, which I think is a theater. I'm not sure if that's open normally yet. Library Branch number 3, Lily Carroll Jackson Civil Rights Museum, Lithuanian Hall, Lovely Lane Methodist, MCA Architecture at Clipper Mill. That's a pretty cool looking place inside, very like wild and modern looking, but inside of an old structure. That might be something pretty cool to check out. Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge, Old Otterbein Church, 1 South Street. That's like a really tall business tower, 4th tallest building in Baltimore. Pretty sure I read at some point that they have like an observatory at a certain level, so maybe they'll let you up there. Don't quote me on that, but that might be worth going just to have a really great view of downtown. We have Open Space, Parks and People Foundation. That is in Druid Hill Park, and it was like a kind of crumbling, just like a stone facade for a long time. They came in and they redid the whole thing, put all new guts in it. That might be pretty interesting. Peel Center, which was, according to this, was one of the very first museums in all of America. I know people that went a couple years ago and they said it was really cool, so that's another one that I might personally check out. We have Phoenix Shot Tower. I actually went there 2 weeks ago. All of November on Saturday and Sunday, I believe from like 10 to noon, it's free. So if you don't see it for Doors Open Baltimore, you can always go see it at that time. You can't go up inside of it. I thought you could, and I thought it would have a great view. I'm sure it does, but they won't let you inside of it. But you can go to the bottom, and the bottom is pretty cool. I mean, it's worth, you might only spend 15 minutes there, but if you're in the area, I would definitely go check that out. We have Polish Home Club Incorporated, Reginald F. Lewis Museum. That's another museum with regular hours. Robert Long House, St. Mary's Spiritual Center and Historic Site, School 33 Art Center, Schuler School of Fine Arts. I've been in there other times for Artscape. They have open houses. It's really cool. It's like stepping back in time, like all traditional artwork, sculpting and painting and things like that. It's a pretty cool place if you're in the area. It's in Station North. The South Baltimore Learning Center, the Terrault Gallery, Union Baptist Church, the Walters Art Museum. Walters is great, but then again, it's open all the time. And finally, the Women's Civic League. So those are all the sites that you can do the self-guided tours on. Keep in mind that you only have like a 6-hour window to do it. And some of these even have like more limited hours. So once again, doorsopenbaltimore.org. Go to that, study it. It's your Bible. That'll help you plan the whole day out. I will read the events for Sunday that have guided tours because some of the places might be different. So for the guided tours on Sunday, we have, this is October 26th, kind of the kickoff. 4th Annual Doors Open Baltimore Kickoff Lecture. It is at Morgan State Business Center. On the regular Sunday, we have a Doors Open Bike Tour. If you have a bike and you want to ride a bike around and check out some sites, it says it is a 3-hour tour, so that's going to eat up a lot of time. That's up to you. There's a Doors Open Bus Tour, like a guided tour of Lovely Lane United Methodist Church, guide and lecture from First Unitarian Church, tour of the SNF Parkway. I did an episode of Explore Baltimore where I showed you some of the inside. Admittedly, it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the best footage, unfortunately, but really cool. I have pictures in the past where, and when it was abandoned, like, it was abandoned for quite a while, and used to be able to like get in there if you knew how to pop the door open. So I have pictures all of the inside, and I've showed them in the episode here, and they actually really all they did was kind of come in and kind of clean it up. They put new seats in it, but they really left it like untouched otherwise, so it still looks abandoned. It's really cool. They have a lot of like kind of indie movies and things there, so you can go there even, not during a guided tour and see a movie, and it's a really good time. Tour of St. Paul's Cemetery in Druid Hill Park. It's the little cemetery right next to Safety City, I think. Washington Monument Restoration Tour and Discussion. That does not include going up into it. It seems like it's just exterior and interior. You can pay $6 to climb it on another date, though, so if you want to come back. There's tour of Baltimore Center Stage, tour of Schuler Art School, tour of Walter's Celebration of the Dead, tour of the Rawlings Conservatory, tour of Wolf Street Shipcaulker's houses. That's those two little houses I said were like really decrepit and they're like 200 years old. That seems interesting. I think I'm going to go to that one. Lafayette Avenue, Culture and Historical Avenue of Potential and Promise through West Baltimore. Walking tour of Howard Street, Carter. If you've never been around Howard Street, it was the old kind of department store area. Really cool, a lot of history there. They've been trying to jumpstart it for 20, 30 years to try and get it going again. It used to be kind of like one of the nicest places in Baltimore, but not really anymore. It's slowly coming back. They're doing things to it, but they're just having a lot of trouble. So if you want to go down there and hear what they have to say about that, that could be pretty cool. Tour of Chase Court, which it says is a 1879 Gothic former Episcopal parish house. We have Mount Vernon Walking Tour, Edgar Allan Poe House and Museum Tour. That could be pretty cool. I would definitely try to get to that if I could fit it in. That seems interesting. Tour of Assembly Building at Clipper Mill. Clipper Mill is really cool if you've never been there. Tour of Baltimore Food Hub. I did an episode a while back of Cuddy's Gym. Cuddy's Gym is being, it was also like a Baltimore, like an old pumping station, but now it's being renovated into the Baltimore Food Hub. So you can tour that. I'm not 100% sure how far along in that. I've seen some recent pictures where it's just kind of cleaned up. They put a new roof on one of the buildings, so I don't know how far along they are on it, but it seems interesting. I'll probably go to that just so I can get kind of before and after photos of the building. Jewish Museum of Maryland tour. I've done that tour in a different time. It's pretty cool. If you are into that, I've checked that out. Walking tour of Harbor Point. Looks like it's going to focus on the former manufacturing site and the history of that. Tour of the Westminster Burying Ground and Catacombs and Hall. That's where Edgar Allan Poe was buried. That seems really cool. Historic Pennsylvania Avenue Heritage Trail Tour. Tour of the Elephant, the Residence from Retail to Restaurant. That is a restaurant down on North Charles Street. Maryland Historical Society Tour. That's what I said was the headquarters sort of Doors Open Baltimore. Tour of the Hippodrome. That could be really cool. If you haven't been to a show there, maybe that'll be a good chance to get inside of it. That happens at 1 p.m. All right, and that goes for the list of all the tours. So a lot of cool things they had in the past haven't reoccurred, so it does change every year, but there's still some of the same stuff. I wanted to make this video soon enough just to give you an idea of how to plan your time in case if you didn't know what's happening, you don't want to make other plans. So in short, doorsopenbaltimore.org, hashtag DOB2017, Saturday, October 28th, that's the self-guided tours. Sunday, October 29th is the guided tours. So definitely check out the website. It has a list of everything. It doesn't have a ton of pictures of every site, and a lot of them are only exterior, so the inside of a place might be really cool, and you wouldn't really be able to tell from this. But that's why I tried to give you like a heads up on the things I already know about. And I look forward to seeing pictures on Instagram and anywhere else you want to post it. So yeah, enjoy yourself and have a good time.